Since around age 17, I've embraced Stoicism as an ideology, and there are a number of reasons why, but one of the biggest reasons is my belief that emotions and feelings are not particularly valuable tools for decision making, nor do they help you in your search for truth. Think about it. What benefit do you receive from approaching situations from a purely or even heavily emotional perspective? To tame your mind is to truly be free. There is almost nothing that can truly disrupt my peace at this point and sort of take me off the path that I desire. Isn't that amazing? Not only that, this mindset also helps you to step outside of yourself and your personal biases. I try to assume positive intent and make conclusions only based off of information that is actually real, not stuff that I inferred and not stuff that I just made up in my head. Now, I think this mindset can be both good and bad. It's good in that I find it much easier to solve problems and process information. One example I like to use is the example of Miranda rights. You know, Ernesto Miranda himself was a terrible individual, but that doesn't mean his rights weren't violated. And for somebody like me, the conversation ends there. But it's easy for people to list off the rap sheet of somebody like that to get you to abandon logical thinking. But you shouldn't, because there isn't a different set of rights for guilty and innocent people. I feel the same way about bad things happening to people that I'm not particularly fond of. The institutions or conditions that cause them to experience suffering could very well be pointed at me sooner or later. And that's just the logical perspective, even if you are a purely selfish individual. But oftentimes I feel that others may see my framework of thinking as rigid or robotic. Realistically, I can see where they're coming from, because I usually just sit around like Ayano Koji asking myself whether or not things matter enough for me to worry about, and I try to find the option that will allow me to remain at peace. You know, perhaps there is some value in embracing spontaneity, but I don't know if I'd like to introduce the unneeded chaos into my super peaceful life. And even if I did open up to inviting spontaneity and chaos, would I respond in a normal way? Or would I just say, yeah, I'm not going to deal with this? I can't really say what the future holds, but I've already made peace with it regardless.